I have got a spotted cat here and I'm very much confused. Maybe one of my viewers will help me with the identification of this cat. Look at that. Maybe it's Kuchava. So let me just try and drive further in order to see if we can have a better sighting. So this is a lovely sighting. Unexpectedly, we found a cat here. So you can see that this cat is also marking the territory. So look at that. This is quite a lovely cat, but I want to see the face so that you can easily help me with identification. So I'm going to have to drive around so that we can have a better sighting. And she is now approaching an open space, so the sighting is going to be much better. I am not alone here at this sighting. I do have some other vehicles. So quite a lot of viewers are saying that this is definitely Kuchava. Look at that. So it means Kuchava is occurring much more here by the Chito area. So this cat is just walking using cover by cover. So maybe it's doing some hunting activities, but there's quite a lot of marking at the moment. She just keep marking the territory. So I'm going to have to again pull further so that we can again see her nicely. I just picked up the scent mark, so that scent mark smells very nicely when it's fresh. Look at that. Now you can see that the face is on our side. So you can see that this cat is on a mission, maybe is looking for something here. It's concentrating on what is happening here. So I'm just going to keep following. You can see the spray of the scent there. Look at that. This is beautiful. Now we can see Kuchava very nicely. So you can see that she is on a mission. Maybe she is just now patrolling the territory. So the belly looks having something there. I'm not too sure if she is pregnant or not at the moment. So I'm just going to turn so that we can have a better sighting again. So she is concentrating on something there. So now she might be aiming that big marula in order to mark again. Let's see what's going to happen there. You see, again, she is just urinating there as well. So the urine and droppings also helps these animals when it comes to the demarcation of their territories. Look, now she is going very fast. There is something she is looking at the back, but I can't see what exactly it is. She is concentrating in the areas where she's coming from at the moment. So I'm just going to keep following and see if we are going to be lucky with what she's looking for. Maybe she's going to do some hunting activities later on. Who knows? Yeah.
Just got a kill now.
Just now. Just now.
Look at that. We have just witnessed something amazing here. Kuchava managed to catch some of a prey just passing by next to the drainage line. Now she grabbed that prey up into the marula tree unexpectedly. So you can see now she's still very much tired. Nothing has been done yet to the prey. It's only now that she's starting to take off the hairs from the prey. She's going to start eating now. It seems like she caught it before and now she just took it up into a tree again. But she was too fast to take this little steenbok up into a tree. So you can see that she was on a mission to come back here. So you can see now that she is in a process of scraping all the hairs. So this is how the hair balls are formed. When these animals are taking off the hairs, they end up swallowing quite a lot of hairs, as the tongue is very coarse and has got spines. Some of these hairs, she swallows them and must have to vomit them in the form of hair balls. So I'm very sure that she's going to finish this steenbok in a while. It's not a very, looks very much small. So you can see there's a very big difference between the front and the hind legs. So the hind legs are much more powerful than the front legs, because those are the legs which helps them to propel the power when they are climbing the trees with holding a prey. So you can see that not all of these hairs are going to come out. She's not going to manage to get rid of all the hairs. Some of the hairs, she will swallow them. So here I am not alone at the moment. I do have some other guests from the other vehicles. Don't get surprised when hearing some camera clicking and people talking. So this cat is very much observant here. So you can see that she's trying by all means to open the stomach in order to get hold of the intestines. So these cats, they are very much interested on the intestine. And something that I've witnessed a few days ago was that Tingana, one of the male leopards in the Djuma game reserve, just defecated, and the hyena came and ate all the droppings. So hyenas eating the leopard droppings, it was something unusual. So this cat looks very much tired, as is, instead of feeding, is just hugging the prey. So you can see that she is just hugging the prey. Nothing is happening at the moment. And her stomach doesn't look very big. So
Well, not an antelope, a hoofed animal, yes, an ungulate, but maybe not an antelope. But here you can see they're busy kind of walking straight at us now. The whole herd is arriving slowly but surely towards the Vuyatela pan, exactly what we thought. And look at the dust that they're kicking up. This would have been spectacular about 45 minutes ago. We would have got the most insane light, but still very cool, particularly in infrared, because you get these glowing eyes and it almost looks a bit creepy as these buffalo quickly make their way towards this small little pan. And how all of these buffalo are going to fit around this, I have absolutely no idea. There must be a good, I would say 150, 200 buffalo here, and that's going to be very tricky for all of these guys to find a way to kind of jostle into position around here. We might see what we saw last time, in that they break into like two groupings and then they drink, and then one group moves off and then the other group comes in to drink. But there, look at that, all those kind of glowing eyes bouncing towards the water itself. Now they'll sniff around a bit, make sure that there's nothing untoward and lurking in the bushes before they start to take a sip. Now, we couldn't have gotten into a better position because it's so cool just kind of watching them, and look at the reflections even in the water before they disturb that. Isn't that beautiful? Worth waiting for this whole afternoon, and worth kind of just slowly following them along. Now, there we go, there's a little bit of shouting going on as everyone jostles for position. But I would have loved to have spent my afternoon with a leopard, as we know, but sometimes these kind of things are also quite cool, especially when it pays off after a long wait. And you can see they're all going to push each other around, and this is the problem with buffaloes. When they push each other like this, then they end up creating a lot of dirty water, and so then they have to wait for it all to settle before they can actually drink again. But look at this, they're just enveloping this pan, and look how long the line is going off to the back end there. You can still see a lot of buffalo coming through the dark, dusty haze with their eyes glowing. Isn't that cool? That's very cool. Now, I believe some of you are even watching on the dam cam itself, which is very cool as well. So this dam cam has been amazing this winter. We've really been spoiled by the number of sightings we've had. We've had leopards and buffalo and lions and wild dogs and everything. The only thing we haven't had is a cheetah, I think, is probably the only animal that hasn't come through. But how cool is this? You can see that buffalo must be thoroughly loving every little bit of that. Dry conditions at the moment means that these poor guys are so thirsty when they get to a water point like this. I mean, they must have walked all day to try and find this water. Luckily, this is nice, fresh water.
But still very cool, particularly interesting with these glowing eyes and the ones that how all of these buffalo are going to fit around, I have absolutely no idea. They must get just 150 buffalo here, and that's what we do.
Now, isn't that just absolutely spectacular? It's one of the things about being out on a safari is, as much as it's about seeing, it's sometimes good just to listen and just to take in not only what you're seeing, but what you're hearing and what you're smelling. And it really is quite spectacular when buffalo are around water, the splashing and the grunts and the slurping and just the general kind of movement around them is quite something. Now, I believe a lot of you thoroughly enjoyed the kind of silence and the noise that the buffalo were creating. Like I say, it's a very, very special thing to be able to sit and listen to that. I feel sorry for those buffalo that arrived a bit late though, because as you can see, this pan got turned into a buffalo cesspit in about 2 seconds. There was buffalo peeing all over the place at one point. Now, it may not seem like that buffalo is close, but I can tell you that buffalo is sitting probably about 1.5 meters away from where Seb is sitting, so that is as close as one can imagine to us, and that's why you probably can hear a lot of them even drinking. But look at how the whole pan has just become one big buffalo kind of mess. Isn't that cool? How epic a sighting was this? And like I was saying earlier, is that sometimes spending time with animals, you get rewarded by getting very cool sightings out of it, and that you get to watch a lot of behavior. And so had we just left these buffalo earlier, we would not have been able to kind of see the whole process of them sort of trudging their way along through this wintry landscape all the way to this water point. And it's been very cool to sit here and just listen to them going about their drinking and sitting here and just enjoying kind of being around these massive animals. They really are big and bulky creatures, and there's something intimidating about them when their eyes glow at you in the darkness. It really is quite something. So thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope that you all enjoyed it too. It's, we missed the buffalo herds for many, many months now. We haven't really had as many as we wanted around during the course of last year and even sort of most of this year. And so it's been so nice to kind of have them again and just follow them about for the day and see what they get up to. The only downside to following buffalo, which luckily none of you at home have to deal with, is the immense amount of flies that come at you. And that's because now with our lights, we have a light that's on the vehicle that is on, and they are just being sucked onto this car at a rate of knots, and we are being covered in them. So flies, you're welcome to go back to your buffalo. Thank you, Seb. Seb has turned off the light on me now. So Mrs. Zero, you say this is the best buffalo sighting you've ever seen. Well, I'm really glad that you've enjoyed it that much. It's like I say, for me, always nice to spend time with them. I know many guides are not a huge fan of buffalo because they don't have that same thrill factor that maybe something like lion or leopard have. But for me, I always like spending time with them. You never know what can happen, and watching them around water is always a joy, because there's, like I say, it's not only a experience from a visual aspect. There's definitely this smell of dust in the air, and you can almost smell the kind of sweat of these buffalo. And then you've got these flies that are landing on you. You've got the smell of their dung, the noises of them grunting, their horns clashing, the water splashing, and it kind of just really, you get very immersed in a buffalo herd. It's one of the few animals that can get you to do this. Something like a lion or a leopard, they're silent creatures, and they walk through and you kind of watch them and they take your breath away via their sheer kind of grace and power. But there's something about buffalo and elephants, as probably in the same category, that when they're in these big herds like this, that they have this ability just to awaken all of your senses and to really kind of get you to immerse yourself within that group of animals, which is a very special thing and not something you see all the time. How cool is that reflection? Nice, Seb. Seb has done a sterling effort as well, showing you all the different aspects of this herd as kind of chaos ensued. Yes, there's that artistic streak again, Kirsty. Maybe we should, Seb, you got named the wrong thing. We're going to call you, what should we call him? Which famous painter do you think we should use, Kirsty?
You can see that Kuchava is still here, very much relaxed and having some dinner at the moment. I can see some of the intestines are starting to hang on the other side now. And please don't get surprised when seeing the spotlights. I'm not alone here by the sighting. I do have some other vehicles also enjoying the same sighting with me.
What a good
So it seems like Kuchava is not interested to feed from the intestine, because she is now pulling everything from the stomach and everything is just hanging from the side of the branch. You can see there. So let's see if she's gonna eat that or not. Maybe she's got her own special preference, unlike what we are used to see on the other side with Osana and Tingana, who also prefers to drink the stomach juice. So without the intestine, I'm sure that animal becomes very much small.
We got the venison. Oh, if you did order the venison, now you know where.
So I'm very surprised to see that the hyenas are not around here when this cat is feeding, because there's quite a lot of things that are falling on the ground, and hyenas must come and also have their own share. So the hyenas own a certain percentage on every kill. So they must get a commission on every kill. So you can see what is hanging there now. Maybe that will be a portion for the hyenas. So now it's very much difficult to see which part is he feeding from the most. But he's not having a competitor, he's just feeding nicely. The competition seems to be very low here compared to the side of djuma, where when Tingana got something, we know Hosana's gonna come. When Hosana got something, Tingana's gonna come, and the hyenas will also come and intervene. So here, the cats are just feeding from their prey on peace. And so now let's go back to David, who's got a head of the wildebeest. So the wildebeest is one of the biggest prey this leopard cannot take down. Maybe the little ones. You can see that Kuchava is still right here, finishing the dinner at the moment. I can see that she's getting very tired, although she doesn't have any competitor. She's just feeding without any problems, but I think she got a lot already because she's just feeding non-stop, and that kind of a prey is too small. She might finish it at any time. So you can see that she's trying to rearrange the positioning of this prey at the moment. The intestines are still hanging on the other side of the branch.
You can see it on flare.
So it's difficult, we can't see it on flare there. So some other people are also starting to shine some spotlights again. So I don't think Kuchava is holding the prey nicely there. Let's hope the prey is not gonna fall. So you can see that this cat is not even using the front legs to balance. She's just hanging the food on the branch and eat from there. She's not supporting any balance at all. Take care. These kind of predators, they normally target the trees such as the marula tree. If you can check, the marula trees are one of those trees which allows the stem to grow big before they spread the branches. And where they spread the branches, they develop a very nice holding shape for the prey. So look at that. It's a very nice flat branch. It doesn't have any challenges there. So most of these spotted cats are preferring the amarula trees to hang their prey. So you can hear that she is now crushing the neck bones. So from here where I am, I can hear the bones broken from these very strong, powerful jaws. Yeah, it's very much difficult to hear the breaking of bones, but I can hear it is happening. I'm not very far away from where this cat is. I'm just a couple of meters away. So Kuchava has got a very small mouth, so she is battling a lot in order to get all the meat. So Kuchava must have to drag this prey up into the air so that we can see how much is left there. Not much is left. So this cat started eating this steenbok while we're here, but now you can see there's only just a little bit of steenbok left. So I don't think this was a fully grown steenbok. Maybe it was still very small. So you can see that now it's starting to grab from the front legs in order to pull the meat from the neck there.